What's going on, everyone? It's DSP, and here I am with my starting my tutorial series on Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Now we're going to get into character specifics of some of the characters who I've been playing in particular over the past couple of days since release. And this is just going to be the basics. I will cover, as much advanced information as I know up to now, but obviously this is all week one information. So, Wesker. Everyone online has been playing with Wesker. And from what I've seen, not a lot of people actually understand how to play with him. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about him. First of all, what are his normals, his basic chain combos, and what are good strategies to use with him overall? Well, as you can see, his normals are a series of standing punches. His heavy attack is actually a double flipping kick, which is similar to some of the acrobatic stuff he did in Resident Evil 5. And his special button is a launch. And also he has crouching attacks, which have some pretty good reach, a sweep for his heavy attack, and he also has this gun. Now this gun can be used by pressing down, forward, and heavy attack. And that's used primarily as an off-the-ground move for juggles, which we'll talk about a little later. His jumping attacks, he's got like a jumping elbow, which is kind of weak, and it's actually hard to hit people with it. His jumping medium attack, as you can see, is really good. It's like kind of almost a force push with his hands. His jumping heavy is this really long-reaching roundhouse spinning kick, which is really useful. And then his jumping special is yet another roundhouse kick. This is his one cross-up. Let me show you. If you jump over your opponent and press it, it actually hits them on the other side. Now, I've got this guy set to block, so he's going to block those. But I should actually turn that off. That's really good. That's probably his best jumping normal overall, because it hooks over the opponent's head. Okay. The other one, as you'll see, heavy kick just misses, but it does have a lot of reach. So if you're like jumping in this from the front, that's one of his best jump-ins from the front. Okay. So what are good things to do with Wesker's normals? Well, first of all, I told you about this gun, and you could do it both on the ground and in midair. If you're in a fight where someone's like trying to really harass you, but you have a really good keep away helper, let's say like Sentinel, you could use the gun to keep them away and pressure them into the corner while you're constantly calling out, that helper. And the gun actually works pretty well in a super jump too, as long as you're good with your aim. You can probably get a pot shot off and hit someone in the head from an angle like I did right there, which will keep them away. But be careful though, you can only use that gun once per jump, so if you super jump and you use it once, you cannot use it again, alright? So what are his special moves? Well, Wesker has a couple interesting special moves. First is a quarter circle forward plus punch, and each button that you use it's completely different property. So first you have with light attack, where it's just like a little slap type of a move, or palm type of a move. If you use medium attack, the move turns into a double hand push, which gives you a wall bounce property, which is actually one of the best strategies to use with Wesker, which we'll talk about a little bit later when we get to combos. If you use it with heavy attack, it leads into a multiple hit move that actually covers about half the screen's length, okay? Now what you need to do is, when you do this move, you can follow it up by pressing heavy punch again. See that? And then it'll actually launch your opponent into the air. And there is a third move. If you do a quarter circle forward plus light attack after the second heavy punch you press, it'll actually finish it. Watch this. It's actually a little mini 3-hit combo that he can do. However, what I found is that actually by doing this move, if it connects, launch, and then actually use your special to launch, and now you can actually do an air combo based off of that. So it seems like that's probably the best use for it. Unfortunately, here's the problem. The light one combos, the medium one with the wall bounce combos, however, the heavy one does not combo. The heavy one is too slow to combo. So you really, the light punch and the medium punch you're going to use in combos. The heavy punch one, you're probably only going to use from half screen. Let's say, for example, if your opponent's over there just kind of farting around, or maybe it's a keep away character and he's trying to charge something up, or he's trying to shoot a projectile, you can kind of get across the screen with that pretty quickly, and you might take them by surprise because it is such a fast moving move and it moves across the entire screen. But for combos, that move's a no-go. Now, if you do a reverse dragon punch motion, which is back, down, back, back, down, back plus any attack, you're going to get, counter moves. Now they call it tiger uppercut. I have no idea. It's nothing like an uppercut. But basically what happens is if your enemy attacks you when you're using those, and I hope I can get the enemy to attack me, but I don't know if I'll be able to. It'll actually counter attack. I'm not trying to jump. I'm trying. Come on. Stop. There. Come on. Stop calling helpers and attacking. There we go. You saw what happened? I blocked his attack and actually hit him after it. Come on, computer. Come on. Oh, my health's not regenerating for some reason. That's nice. Here we go. Come on, attack me. Attack me low, that's why it hit me. There's 3 different versions of it. That's the medium attack. If you do light attack... Alright, the computer's being a dick and not letting me do it. But anyway, if you do with light attack, it'll counter mid and jumping attacks. If you counter with medium attack, I believe it actually counters low attacks. So there's 3 different versions of it that you can use. Just stand, you stupid fucking game. Alright, but for the most part, what I found, they're really risky. You're probably better off just blocking because the risk-reward can be pretty, bad, especially in a game like this where if you accidentally get hit once, you lose your entire character. So you probably don't want to mess too much with those counters, at least from what I've experienced. Now, arguably his best move is actually not an offensive move at all. It's a teleport, and what you do is it's a dragon punch motion, forward, down, down towards, plus any attack. And as you can see, it works both in midair and on the ground. And he's got 3 versions, okay? On the ground, if you do it with light attack, you'll actually go behind him. And this is cool because you can do something like call out a helper, teleport behind, and now you mixed him up. He didn't know which way to block because he had a helper hitting from one side and you attacking from the other. Another one is this here. That's with medium attack, and that gets you away from your opponent. And that's pretty useful because, for example, let's say you're doing a combo, right? And let's say he blocked that combo. Dummy settings. Did you see what I did there? After doing my 3-hit basic magic series, I teleported away. So this is a really good way for you to do constant pressure on your opponent with these different teleports. And he doesn't know where to block, he doesn't know where you're coming from. One of the best strategies is something like this. You do a 3-hit combo, teleport away. That didn't work. Teleport away, call in a helper. Then you start doing repeated teleports. Now he doesn't know where you are, he doesn't know where the helper is. There's stuff going all over the screen, okay? Now probably the best of the 3 teleports is with heavy attack because you actually go behind your opponent. And if you're about half screen away like I am right now, you're in perfect position to hit your opponent with an overhead kick. And if you're calling out a helper like this, that could be really confusing for them to block, and they might block the wrong way, leading to a giant combo. Now in midair, you can still do the forward teleport. You can do it infinite amount of times, by the way, until you hit the ground, which is pretty cheap if you're trying to run away. You can just keep doing this like an asshole. You can also go backwards in midair repeated times. Look at this. You can pretty much float for a long-ass time, but you can only do it 3 times. That seems to be the rule of thumb in this game. You can only do aerial moves 3 times max, and then you seem to have to land afterwards. Now, the difference between the teleports is the heavy punch teleport. If you're in the air, heavy attack teleport. If you're in the air and you use it, you actually immediately go to the ground. So this is good, for example, if you super jump and someone like Deadpool or someone with a full screen aerial super is going to try to shoot you in midair, you can teleport right to the ground and get out of the way. And also, if you're in the air and you're fighting someone who's really good in the air, like Sentinel or Storm or someone like that, you can immediately go to the ground to start getting out of that situation and defend. Alright, so now we talked about his special moves. And I apologize because I really haven't memorized. So Cobra Strike, Ghost Butterfly, Jaguar Dash, they're all really the same move. He does have this this Mustang kick move, which is actually a command throw. Let me show that to you. See that? So there's 3 different versions, light, medium, heavy. Light is just a quick one that knocks him across the screen. It's really not that useful. Even if you have a helper out. I'm going to actually try to get it to combo. See, he kind of bounces up out of the helper, even if it hits, so it's not that useful. But the one that I like is medium punch. If you use the medium attack one, you can actually off the ground immediately after it, as you saw I did there with Wesker's gun. And then if you do the heavy attack, it actually bounces him up. And you can do a super immediately after, okay? Or if you're close enough, you could dash up and launch and do an aerial combo, like I just did there. So there's some variation in the throws, and it's a really good idea if during the course of a match you're attacking a lot, you know, okay, I'm here, I'm going behind them, I'm attacking him with, you know, this, then just dash up and just throw. And you might take them by surprise because they've been defending so much that they thought you were going to attack again, and you actually got a surprise throw leading into some decent damage, okay? So now we're going to talk about Wesker's super moves and how they're implemented. You've already seen half circle forward plus 2 attacks, which I believe is called the Phantom Dance. But everyone I know calls it the Maximum Wesker because it's very similar to Spider-Man's Maximum Spider Super, and that one's been along for a long time, and since it looks so similar, they call it Maximum Wesker. So that's really useful in combos. It's useful to punish. For example, if Wesker was attacking from full screen right now, if he's doing anything besides like a projectile attack, if I were to do this, I'm probably going to catch him. It's that good. It's instant, and it actually is really good. It's hard to punish on block, so if Wesker had blocked that, he wouldn't have been able to punish me for it. It would have been very hard for him to do that. So it's a pretty safe, instant super that gives pretty decent damage, and actually it is comboable as well out of different situations. Out of a simple ground combo, although as you see, sometimes it's risky in a ground combo because they bounce out of it, but out of a simple air combo you can do it. And actually, it's really good in some of his more advanced, longer combos, which I'll show you later. His other super is half circle back plus 2 buttons. And that's a counter move super. So if Wesker were attacking me and I did that, I actually do a little animation where I beat the living crap out of him. Again, it's similar to his Tiger Uppercut counter move. It's a little bit risky, but in this case, it's a little bit better because it stays out there for a little longer. So you don't have to be pinpoint accurate with your timing, and also because it's only a half circle back, it's easier to pull off. There's less of a chance of you goofing it up. So it's a pretty good move. Now, I guess the last thing I'll show you is his level 3 super, which is a down towards plus 2 attacks together. And first I'll just show it to you. So as you see, he does an automatic combo of several different hits. Then he actually jumps up and pulls a Scud missile out of his ass and throws it at you, and blows you to hell. So it's a pretty cool animation. And there are a couple different uses for this. You can combo into it like this. Sometimes you can wall bounce into it. Couldn't do it that time, let's get a little closer. Oops, sorry. The timing's a little strict. Let me actually back him up a little bit more. There you go. So you can wall bounce into it like that. For giant damage, by the way. Another strategy would be like to call it a helper teleport behind and then do it. Well, if he hadn't jumped, which I didn't tell him to do, that would have worked, but... See, what happened is he got completely fooled. He saw the Sentinels, and he thought, oh, gee, I have to block the Sentinels, and then I came up behind him and did the level 3. So, that's just some very basic stuff with Wesker. Now, I'm going to do a part 2, and in part 2, what we're going to do is explore some of Wesker's combos, his more complicated combos, general strategies, and how basically to win with Wesker, and what kind of teams work best with Wesker. So we'll be right back with part 2 of the Wesker Basics tutorial.